Thursday's vlog here, Culotta and the Prince, Dreams Come True Radiothon rolling on here. Good first 3 hours of the Radiothon. Blaine Besh and Mike Fontenot came upstairs after answering the phones all morning. The donations are continuing to roll in. The South Point Volkswagen phone lines will be open till 7 o'clock this afternoon, Thursday and Friday, 225 area code 490-8190. We talked to Matt Reiser, Southeastern head baseball coach. Lions are in town tonight taking on Palm and LSU. A game that was originally scheduled for Wednesday night moves 24 hours up to 6:30 this evening. Coach Reiser is always very impressive.
Yeah, look, I think this guy's one of the best young coaches in college baseball, and to see what he's done with that Southeastern program. Last year, a regional bid comes up to Alec Box Stadium. They hang around for a little bit there. That's a good program. That wasn't just that one team. It's going to be interesting to see. Dominic Carlini is the guy who's going to get the ball tonight. Last week against Tulane, that's right, he's Paisan. Someone's home stirring the sauce. Make no mistake about it.
Suga.
Hey, good gravy. Come on. What are you doing? Carlini's going to get the ball tonight. Last week against Tulane, he had 11 strikeouts. That's an impressive number, no matter who you're playing. 5 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts. That's impressive there. But he got his pitch count up. Got a 96 pitches in 5 innings. I think that's one of the things that you're looking at here is, LSU, if they can get a little bit patient, because this is a guy that's going to try to strike people out, stay aggressive at the plate. Stay aggressive at the plate. It worked an awful lot last weekend. Even with the 14 hits that they had against Nichols in the midweek game last week, leaving 17 guys on base. That's not something that's going to be normal for this team. And I think that's one of the interesting things to see what happens if this team stays aggressive at the plate, or if they try to work the pitch count to try to get Carlini a little deeper into his pitch count a little earlier on in the game. From LSU's perspective on the mound, Doug Norman's going to get his second start of his career. A guy that threw an awful lot of strikes last week. He was over 50 of his 72 pitches were strikes. And I think that's a significant number, because he was a guy that, he got the loss last week, but the defense had a couple of mistakes behind him. Again, like we mentioned, a number of guys left on base. And then you add the extra day of waiting to get back out there, get his second opportunity for his second college start. I think he's a guy that by the time the game's coming around, he's going to be chomping at the bit to go out there, get on the mound, and start throwing.
Yeah, no, Andy Canizero and Palmineri, really looking forward to see how their lineup answers tonight against the big lefty in Carlini, a guy that you said mowed down 11 last weekend, striking out 11 in the last time out. Anthony Smith, Savion Smith's dad, joined us at 7:30 this morning. Derek, I didn't have a lot of expectation going into the interview about what we were going to get out of Mr. Smith, but what we got was probably one of the best interviews that we've had, especially from a recruiting aspect, just offering insight to the process, and a guy that, look, man, as far as priorities go with his son through this, talking about the number one cornerback in the country. Sure. This isn't some guy just out of the state of Florida. Really impressive.
Well, there's two things I want to point out here. You and I won't put anybody on the air unless we know that they're good. So that was something I was comfortable with. And the other thing is that the parent of a recruit, they better have a significant story to tell. I think we got that out of Anthony Smith. And look, we talk to a lot of people. When we get to the point in time where you and I are like, wow, this guy's good, that's significant. And I think that not only does that show you just how well-rounded that Anthony and Savion Smith are, but I think it gives you a good insight into what kind of people you're dealing with as the future continues to, as we get further into the future, and you see that this kid's a hard worker. His father said that he's going to take some time away from sports after football season's over with to work on his studies. And so we were like, well, is he qualified? Yeah, he's qualified. His dad wants him to graduate with a 3.5 GPA. Number one corner in the country, 3.5 GPA. LSU's very lucky to get the commitment out of Savion Smith. And he's a guy that plays with a number of big-time players over there at the IMG Academy. And in the 7-on-7 circuit that he's at in the state of Florida, there's a number of other big-time players. I think that Savion Smith, and listening to his father today on the show, he's a guy that is going to, with pride, go out there and help LSU recruit this 2016 class.
Yeah, I could try to tell you more about the interview, but you got to just, if you haven't heard it, or even if you did hear it, go back and listen to it again at 1045ESPN.com. James Harrelson put it directly up inside the huddle, tweeted out the link at 1045ESPN. It's on the on-demand site at 1045ESPN.com under Culotta and the Prince. Just really impressive. I mean, I'm talking about everything from the relationship with Corey Raymond to Kevin Steele to where Savion Smith fits into the future of LSU, relationship relationship with Kevin Tolliver, and like Derek talked about, the academic side of being one of the top recruits in the country. Remember, we're online at 1045ESPN.com. We're on Twitter at 1045ESPN. And for the next 48 hours over here at Guarantee Broadcast Company, it's the Dreams Come True Radiothon with the phone number
225-490-8190 to call and donate. That's the South Point Volkswagen phone line, the Dreams Come True Radiothon.
We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.